want to have you guys each introduce yourselves to each other. Tell me and us a little bit about who you are, like, what you're doing now, what kind of SEO background that you have, that kind of what kind of brings you out basically, right? So I'm just going to start from the top down in my list, which is with Joshua. So Joshua, tell us a little bit about yourself and how your background is.
Yeah, hey everybody. Initially, I graduated college only 4 years ago, but right initially after graduating, got started doing a digital marketing position, starting a digital marketing position with the Hoff out of St. Petersburg. And so they're a big digital marketing provider, and they kind of do like a lot of white label, like sort of SEO provision for agencies, and do content and they actually just acquired another company called FreeUp too. But I spent some time working with them, and then soon after got recruited into another company, Global Widget, where I took over basically the content marketing for them. So I was the initial content marketer, so it was handling a lot of the content across the various brands that they have, and then sort of transitioned more full time into affiliate marketing, doing that primarily, and now basically run my own agency that we serve a number of clients, but basically a 100% performance based agency. But I always like to network with other fellow digital marketers and wear different hats. So yeah, that's why I'm here.
Cool. Actually, it's funny you said the Hoff, right? I just saw an ad that they put out with David Hasselhoff saying, "Hey, it's the Hoff. We're talking about the Hoff." And it was pretty funny, actually. I got a kick out of it. I guess they're doing some free SEO training that they've got out there, and they're using him to promote it and the mix-up of the Hoff and the Hoff. So I thought it was pretty funny. It was this morning that I saw it. I was just talking about it with some of the other trainers in the network this morning. So it's pretty funny. Well, welcome, Joshua. Let me go ahead over to Rob. Why don't you talk about yourself, Rob?
Yeah, my name's Rob Gelhausen. I've been doing search engine optimization programming for probably about 10 years now. I work primarily with WordPress and WooCommerce.
Cool. Well, great, man. Good to have you here. And let's go to Elaine. You have to unmute yourself too, Elaine. There you go.
Good evening, everybody. Elaine Simmons Design. I'm a web designer, and I create and maintain websites for clients. And I'm a co-leader for the WordPress user group in St. Pete. And I know you, Rob. You come to our meeting.
Yeah, hey.
Sometimes. And so we're just meeting virtually in that group also. So anyway, it's great Steve is a great resource, and I'm looking forward to tonight's presentation.
Well, cool. Yeah, I'm glad you're out here again. We were trying to do things, in person wherever possible. The live, it's good, but I definitely like the in-person stuff where possible. Obviously, that's going to be a problem these days. So we'll see what we can do about doing the resource this way moving forward. Before we get going here, typically we do have like an Ask Anything session. So if anybody's got any questions or, is trying to figure something out or whatever, just kind of put it out there. And, this is not for me to answer. You guys are all sort of in the business. So, if anybody's got ideas or thoughts about something, please feel free to, to comment on those things. So are there any questions at all about anything going on right now?
Well, I have a question. Shoot. Of course.
Count on you.
I was speaking with a attorney recently who's located in, I think she's out near like Brandon area.
Mm-hmm.
But you were saying that it is difficult for attorneys to rank. And I've come across this another time too. And it's, I just want to hear you, expound on that. I am assuming she's trying to rank herself in Tampa Bay area, but she's located in, Brandon or even further out. So I'm not sure what to tell her in terms of what she can expect for SEO.
Tell her it's going to be highly improbable and highly unlikely that she's really going to ever show up in Tampa unless she has a Tampa address.
Okay.
There'll be basically no, you can try a Google My Business listing that's using a service-based area. But typically, and you say, hey, we service the Tampa Bay area. But again, typically speaking, that's really not the way to go. Ideally, you do want to have an address in the city of search that you want to be in. You have to remember also that there's all of these existing lawyers, major players. You probably can Culper for Curlin, Morgan and Morgan. There's a bunch of them out there. I'm sure we could probably think of a couple more off the top of your head that are out there. 1-800, ask lawyer or something like that, Gary, right? These guys are putting out millions of dollars a month on advertising and have been around forever. So it would be highly unlikely for her to rank well in Tampa if she is in Brandon. And that being said, the options for her would be to create a page or several pages within her current site that really focus in on the Tampa Bay market, talk about Tampa Bay and legal stuff that goes on there. But again, you're going to be beating your head up against the Morgan and Morgans, the Culper Curlins, these other guys that are in Tampa with offices in Tampa, that have been doing it forever. Yeah. So the other option I would say is to find some unique niche that, can maybe be filled that way, and go after really long-term stuff, really long-tail stuff, where, the queries are 5, 6, 7, 8 words long, to try to catch those residuals, because she's never going to come for, let's say, attorney near me, family lawyer near me, or that kind of stuff. It's unlikely that's ever going to happen. Okay. So it's just about expectations.
All right, I have a question. So I've seen actually, with Global Widget, I ran an affiliate program and was linking to a ton of blogs, getting linked from a lot of websites and everything. We saw ourselves organically rise through, or I guess our domain authority or something rose in proportion with a lot of the links that we were receiving. Is there anything about an affiliate link that would pass less link value or link juice or whatever back to the website based on the referral source essentially?
Well, so yeah, again, there are different types of links. There are no-follow links, so right. A lot of resources are going to have no-follow links which don't pass any page juice whatsoever. Other links that that aren't no-follow, what we call do-follow, those links will pass page rank to the pages that are getting it, but it also depends upon what the Google page rank is. Now, Google page rank isn't publicly reported, so we tend to use these other metrics like domain authority from Moz, or we use trust factor, trust rank, and citation sources from Majestic. But remember, Google doesn't use these. It's got nothing to do with Google whatsoever. It's not a Google tool. Google's not looking at domain authority. It's just Moz's representation of the internet, the ecosystem basically of the web. That being said, they're at least sort of judging everybody sort of on their own. And if the affiliate links that you get there, probably links coming to the site are probably going to be from domains that have a much lower domain authority, that maybe don't have a really high value in the eyes of Google. And we're going to be talking a lot about that a little bit later as we get into what's been going on with Google and what they're targeting. And you're going to see, I think you'll probably see within what you need to be looking for, how if these sites are linking to you or to the site you're trying to get ranked higher, that if they don't do these kind of things, they're not going to be seen as important. And it's really about the authority of the link and not just having a link. So, it's better to have one great link than 1,000 crappy links, basically, right? And I'm just throwing numbers out. I'm not saying 1 or 1,000. So that's something to keep in mind. But, every link has some value, right? Some it's really small, some it's really large. You just want to make sure that you're not acquiring links from sites that are obviously doing things against Google's terms of service, or are just crappy directory sites that nobody ever actually comes from ever, or if you got links from sites that nobody's ever using or visiting. Those are the kind of things that you want to review your inbound link profile, who is linking to you, and get a sense of who is really providing value, who's not, and take a look at the percentages as well. Typically what we see is sites that rank really well across the board have about a 20 to 40% of their inbound link profile being no-follow links. So 20 to 40% max. if you've got like 80% no follow links and 20% do follows, you're probably not going to be seen as powerfully or as strong. But at the same time, you don't want to have 0 no follow links. That looks manipulative. So about 20 to 40% was a report I saw from Neil Patel's site about 6-8 months ago, something like that.
So, and to try to wrap that up really quickly to give you a concrete example. So I work with a technology called Everflow, is basically who does our link tracking and all that kind of stuff. But so I guess we can do a domain specific, like, if I have 50 clients, I can get specific links that are have the same sort of like that have the domain name and the link that's being referred back to and the affiliate link. But right now it's just sort of like a standard link. So I guess my question would be, is like, even like, let's say like the hypertext or like something like visibly is like saying like, health website or, pair of glasses or whatever it is. It's like, because it's reading the text to the HTML behind it, is that going to be seen as less valuable because it's not like directly a domain link or something? Is it kind of masked behind?
So good question. So we did have a link, what's a good link, what's a bad link, what kind of links did you get? A couple of months ago, actually, I think it was. Basically, Google really wants the majority of the links to be either the anchor text, let's call it, the anchor text of the link, to be either a brand name, a URL, or a variation of those two things, and then a generic as well. So, or even images, logos, headshots, photos of pictures, and so on. And the generic would be the click here, the visit website, the view more, next, that kind of thing. When it comes to the money words, right, the words that are using the keywords you want to get found for, those are the ones you got to be careful of, right? Basic general guidelines, and I'm not saying this is a rule. It's not been said by Google says do it this way or not. Basic guidelines we tend to say is you don't really want to have any more than about a third of your links that are coming into your website being money words, right? Those exact keyword phrases, and no more than about 2% being any one money word. So if you've got like 30% of your links are money words and they're all using the exact same phrase, you're probably not going to see yourself ranking as well as if you kind of mixed it up a little bit. I always use the example of dog training because it's pretty easy for everybody to get. So you could say like dog training Tampa, Tampa dog training, dog trainer in Tampa, dog trainer in Tampa FL, Tampa, Florida dog training company. Those are all basically the same thing. I got a dog, I need some help. But they're different anchor texts, and it accounts for the various ways that people search for things. So, and Google's really, really good at the semantic aspect of it, right? Understanding what you're looking for, and more often than not, especially with the long tail searches that we're doing these days when we talk to, our devices, many times the keyword phrase that's been searched for is not actually on the page of content, right? It's not even there. But Google understands what you're looking for, what your intent is, and they provide you with the best results that they think will be valuable for you based upon what you're looking for, what you're asking about.
Okay, great.
And they have all their machine learning behind the scenes that kind of helps them with that too.
Okay, great.
Anybody else? Any other questions? All right. Well, then let's go ahead and start talking about what's going on here. Now, I pulled this from a bunch of different places and a lot of different things going on over the last few months since we haven't done anything in a while. We'll go through a bunch of these things. I'm not going to get too detailed because the content's pretty detailed. And, I always get you guys a copy of the results of the stuff here. If you just email me as well, I can get you a copy of the slides if you like. But Google is killing one of my favorite tools, which is the structured data testing tool. All right. This is one of those tools where it's a shortcut on my screen. I use it all the time. And this allows you to check to see if the pages of your site have rich snippets and if they're done right or if they're missing information. And so the structured data testing tool was really valuable in helping us understand, did we get it right? Do we see what's going on? So, for example, let me give you, let me pull one up here. Let me go to the, it's right there. I put STRU, it's right there, structured data testing tool. So this is the old one. This is the one that, we used to like. And then we could go in here and we can put in, let me just grab one of my clients here. I know we got it on here. Go to Tampa. Here we go. So I'm going to just put this URL in. I'm going to run the test. It's going to go out to the live site, live page, see the content, right? It evaluates it. And then on the right-hand side, it shows me, and you see right there, right? The tool is being shut down. Such a bummer. And you see it's got warnings and, hey, it's a moving company, and I can see what all the information is and so on. I could even, if I wanted to do a new test, I can put in a snippet of code to see, did I write the code right? Am I going to get any issues or errors? So that was a nice kind of way to do things that really kind of helped us see what was in there. A whole bunch of corporation, a web page, local business, moving company. They're pushing now the rich results test, right? This is similar in nature. It actually, it's a little bit, I guess, I think the structured data testing tool, this one, is more like if you're a programmer, you're going to like this a little bit better, right? Because you're looking at code, you're seeing where you're up or down. Notice there's a few warnings in here that the address is recommended, the price range of phone are recommended. Warnings aren't errors, okay? So be aware. Warnings are like, hey, you might want to change this, you might want to add this to make it more valuable. And I always say, if Google's warning you about something, it's probably a good idea to fix it, right? They're letting you know, hey, this, because it's all about the user experience. So keeping these warnings at bay is probably a good idea. Now, the rich one here, see, I've done the same thing. It says, yeah, hey, this is eligible for rich results. So saying, yeah, it looks like it's good. Then it shows that there is a local business one. There are warnings here, so I can come here and I can see the warnings, right? What they are, the address, the telephone, the price range. I can see the logos works right, the review snippets work right, the other site links, there's additional stuff in here. I can look at the, this one here, and it says moving company. So it's not quite the same. You don't quite see the code. The nice thing about the structured data testing tool, we actually did this the other day, is you could go in here and you could change something here to see what it looked like. So we had a problem with a client that there was something weird, happened to be an extra single quote mark. See if I do that and hit the play button there. Nah, didn't do it there. But we were able to kind of come in here, take it out, hit play, and see, oh, that fixed it. And then we were able to go ahead and actually make the change live. This doesn't really do that, okay? You can see it, it's there and available, but there's going to have to go look at some other tools. Now, you can do preview results here. This is just kind of giving you what it looks like and what you might get in the snippet, but it's really not, going to give us the same kind of results. So, kind of a bummer, but, at least there's something there. You could go to the view rendered HTML and you'll actually see this, but like I said, it's not laid out in the format of this where you can see where the code is and where the language part is, where the comments are, that kind of thing. So this is more developer friendly and it can help a lot. This is a bit more user friendly, let's say, but it is going away. So if you're, embedded with structured data testing tool, which kind of I am, it's going to be a difficult transition. If not, at least you can try using this. This will help you find it. Currently, not as feature rich as I mentioned as a developer tool, but it's better if you're an average user that just wants to know if it's looking good or not. Okay, that's something to keep in mind. Back in May 4th, I know it's a few months already, but May 4th saw a major quality core update from Google. It was the second one of the year. And what really we found is that sites that have been working hard to boost their overall EAT signals were rewarded with higher rankings and more traffic. Now, for those that don't know, EAT stands for expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. I did cover a bit about this, I think, the last meeting that we had. But basically, this is, and we'll talk about some signals to improve that in a moment. This is important to Google. So how do you boost your EAT? These are some things, this is right out of Google, basically, okay? They're saying, hey, update your About Us page. So your About Us page should not be like 3 sentences anymore. They want to know who you are, why I should work from you, what you've done, what awards you won, where you went to school, what makes you qualified to give out the information you're giving out, why should I trust you, what's your background, where'd you go to school for, where'd you go to technical school for. They want, so if a user comes and says, hey, should I believe this person? You can go and go, oh, wow, this guy's been teaching for 15 years, been doing, training for 25 years, been in the SEO business since 1997, whatever. Those kinds of things are going to impact your expertise and your authoritativeness and trust. Things like improving your page load speed. Those things make it a better user experience. Making sure you have a terms of service and a privacy policy page. Google's looking for these kind of things. Not having those things can sometimes cause other issues that occur. The trust again goes down. If you are medical in any way, right, including references for all medical or scientific claims, where you want to kind of say, hey, the source of if you're saying, that this product is, we'll do this. Well, where are you getting that? Is that from the National Institute of Health, or is it from some blogger that just wrote something? Another big thing is actually to build up your footer. Google said recently that the address in the footer is recommended. It could be seen as a sign of trust. Also, any awards or honors that you may have earned can go here, can show off your expertise. If you've been featured on known television stations or on other authoritative brand websites, magazines, put that in there, information in the footer as well. Again, it builds trust. People who scroll down looking for a phone number or an address see this other information building that who you are. Wow, they were on this. Wow, they did this. There's that wow factor. Add that stuff to your About Us page too, how you got on there, what you're on, and maybe linking out to it and so on. Include a clear ad disclosure. So if you're selling product on the page, you want to have a clear, hey, this post may contain affiliate links with a link to your disclosure of privacy policy. There's sort of an example here that's included as well. Where is it? Did it move, or am I just missing it? That's my photo policy. I'm not finding it now. Anyway, the point is that you want to make sure that if you are selling stuff through affiliates and so on, that you may make money on something you've written in a blog post or something like that, you need to let them know. Okay, be clear about this. Hey, it's an ad. You may also with the rel no follow link. In other rel, you can now say what type of link it is. Like it's a sponsored link, or there's other targets that you can do to sort of. Google's trying to get a better understanding of, hey, you don't want to follow that link. You don't want to send any page rank, but what kind of link is it? Is it an ad? Is it a sponsored link? They kind of want to know what those best practices are. Also, you want to fix your site errors. Site errors like broken links or duplicate meta descriptions or title tags. Any kind of 301 redirects, like if page A links to page B, but page B redirects to page C, well, you don't want that. You want A to go to C and B to go to C. You don't want these sort of chains of the redirection. Broken images and other things like that are, again, a poor user experience. Clear calls to action will help with your EAT. Making sure that you tell people what you want to do, get them to do the things you want to do. Don't just say, like tell them what you want. Say, go here to register for this, or sign up now to get this, or call today to get a free quote. But give them information. Make your site easy to navigate. Remove or rewrite thin content, right? Where you only have 150 words on a page, it's not going to do very good. Check for and remove any duplicate content. You can try tools like Copyscape for seeing if your content's written on other people's sites. A lot of times affiliate links sometimes have the same content on all the pages that link to you. Same is true in e-commerce-based websites. Lots of times you go to the manufacturer's website, grab their description, and pop it on your website because it's quick and easy. Problem is, everybody that's selling that product may be doing the same thing, and now you've got the same content as everybody else on the web, and it's just not going to give you the same kind of value. So Copyscape can help you find duplicate content of yours on other websites. You can also use, I don't have it here, but SiteLiner, SITELINER. SiteLiner can check for duplicate content or even common content on your own website. So common content might be footer information that you have. Sometimes at the top, maybe you've got like, a blog roll or something. You've got something on every page advertising something you're doing. That would be considered common content. You don't want too much common content, right? If 50, 60% of your content is common from page to page to page, that's a problem. It's not really original stuff on each page. So you want to keep that number, fairly low, no more than about 20, 25% maybe. There's also a really good list from Google. They have a quality questionnaire. This is from a 2019 blog post about a year ago now. It outlines the questions to ask yourself about your site to see where you're weakest. So that's a really good blog post. So I've got the links to them at the back of this material here. Get high quality user generated content. So user generated content could be things you might find in forums. They might be blog comments that people are putting out based on a comment or question that you've asked them at the end of your blog post. Anything that engages the user to leave their own information on your site or enables them to do that also allows for them to add their own words and their own phrases, which again updates the content on that page, adds more content to that page. So that adds a bit more value the next time Google comes back. And you also want to go ahead and just read Google's quality guidelines that are out there to kind of keep yourself, understanding of what's going on. But these things come from Google. This is what Google is looking for. They want your site to be, if I'm going to take advice from you about whatever it is you're talking about, who are you? Why should I, get advice from you? What's your background, right? Why should I trust you? These are the things that we're trying to do with this. So these things are super, super important to sort of move things forward. Any questions about that before we hit this next one?
No.
Okay, so in light of all that, one of the biggest things that's really coming out right now that we're seeing a lot of is something from Google called Core Web Vitals. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but Core Web Vitals, basically Google has said, come 2021, these things are going to have a significant impact as part of the ranking of your site. And this goes back to, and Elaine, you've been coming to my meetings forever. You can attest I've been talking about this forever. It's about user experience, okay? It's all about the user experience. I've been saying this for years. You want to do things that are good for your users. If you're doing things that are good for the search engines, or you're doing something because you think you're going to get ranked better in the search engines, but it's not going to help your users, you're going down the wrong path. You want to add value for your users. And the three big ones that they're looking at right now, what they're calling LCP, which is the largest contentful paint, the FID, which is the first input delay, and the CLS, which is the cumulative layout shift. So what does all that mean basically, right? Well, the LCP is basically what they call a perceived load speed, right? This is the point when you load a page up on your website when the main content is likely loaded. Usually it's like the biggest thing on the page. What's the biggest thing on the site, whether it's an image or a video or something else, a script that you're loading and it takes the longest to load? How long is that? So they're looking for anything from 2.5 seconds and down. Between 2.5 and 4, it needs improvement. Above 4, it's poor. I'll show you where you can find out this in a minute. The FID is this first input delay. This is how quick your site is responsive to the user, right? When they're trying to interact, they're trying to scroll, trying to hit a menu item that shows up on the screen. How quick can they do that? You see, it's in milliseconds here. They want this, boom, fast as could be. And the other big one here is the cumulative layout shift. This is interesting. You ever go to a website? I know this drives me crazy. You ever go to a website and you begin to read the content, and as you're reading or trying to scroll down, all of a sudden it gets pushed further down as something above is loading, right? And it keeps moving or things are shifting as you're trying to scroll down. Well, this is this cumulative layout shift thing that they're talking about here. The problem is it annoys people, right? You're trying to read and all of a sudden you're scrolling up or down because there's new thing loading above or below it. A majority of what they're talking about here in some of the reports that I've read is, which is odd because to go forward, we got to go backwards. So in essence, what's happening now is back in the early days of search, we used to put the height and the width of an image, right? We used to say, hey, this image is 500 pixels wide and 250 pixels high. And what that did was it basically created a space on the page where the image would go because images didn't really load very fast 20 years ago. I remember being on AOL on a 9600 baud modem back in 90, Prodigy, something like that. Long time ago, all right? No, that wasn't 90. But anyway, and then we got to like the responsive designs, right? We kind of just said, well, it's going to kind of shift and make it work itself. And we were kind of leaving, these parameters off of width and height. Well, now Google's sort of looking for this width and height to sort of get back in there because what's happening is those things can sort of set an area where that picture is going to go. And so even though it hasn't loaded yet, the picture is sort of ready to go there. and it knows where it's going to be. So there's not going to be this shifting going on. So these are, again, come back to user-focused entities. This is from, you can go to web.dev/vitals. This is actually a link from, this is from Google. Web Dev is a Google tool. This is going to be a whole overview of all of this. You can really get into what it is, where you can find it, how it kind of works, what they're looking for, all of this. So if you really want to get under the hood, this is important. So this is really getting more like developer stuff, right? Average web designers are not going to know anything about how to do this or how to make it work. So these are things that are going to have to be looked at as you're moving forward to make sure that you are accounting for these things and that your numbers are good. Now, the way to do that to see if they're good or not is in Google Search Console. So in Search Console for your site, you're now going to have a Core Web Vitals item under the enhancements. And here they're showing you both the mobile and the desktop, all right? Because sometimes they both look the same, they're both different as far as what, tends to be mobile is more shifting going on in mobile. And you can see here, this one's got 67 poor URLs, 0 that need improvement, 9 that are good. On the mobile, looks the same pretty much on the desktop, but there's 11, the 2 extra ones that are good on the desktop. And if you dig deeper, it will actually say which are poor and what's poor, right? So the LCP issues are longer than 4 milliseconds. CLS issues more than 2.5. This one has, FID issues of longer than 100 milliseconds, and there are some good URLs. If you were to click on one of these, it would take you in and show you which of the URLs are the problem. So you can really get in there and see what's going on. So that's going to be in Search Console, all right? But user experience is going to be key. I've been talking about this forever, even back when we first talked about responsive design. Responsive design was, again, about usability, about user experience. And Google, this is right out of Google, it's a quote, "We're combining the signals derived from the Core Web Vitals with our existing search signals for page experience, which includes mobile friendliness, safe browsing, HTTPS security, and these intrusive interstitial guidelines, these pop-ups that come up or behind the screen or over a page and a mobile device, to provide a holistic picture of a page experience. And because we continue to work on identifying and measuring aspects of page experience, we plan to incorporate more page experience signals on a yearly basis to both further align with evolving user expectations and increase the aspects of user experience that we could measure." So this is all about, is it pleasurable to be on your website, right? Is your site fast? Is it secure? Is it mobile friendly? Is it not going to annoy me? Is it going to load quickly? Is it going to make it easy for me to get around and interact quickly with the site? And Google has said 2021, these Core Web Vitals are going to become built into the algorithm as far as ranking signals, ranking factors, along with the other page experience ranking factors like we've got listed here in the clickable links here for mobile, safe browsing, HTTPS, and so on. So there's big news. It's big bits, you're like, oh my, this is important stuff. All the great content on your site is going to mean nothing if the site's slow, not secure, isn't user friendly, loads too slow. It doesn't matter how awesome your site is if that is bad. That poor user experience will crush you if that's the case. Okay, so some basics with Google changes. Any questions about those changes? All right. So let's talk a bit about Google My Business, right? This is huge right now, Google My Business. Google has been spending a lot of their time on this primarily because of what's going on in the world and COVID and closures and all this stuff. So there's a bunch of different things that are coming down the pipe I want you to be aware of. One of those is that you can now put a link on your Google My Business listing so that customers, friends, relatives, or anybody else can actually buy a gift card or make a donation directly to your business. So if you guys have ever ordered like from Uber Eats, for example, right, they have a new button that says, give $2 to the restaurant, right? Go straight to the restaurant, kind of help support them. Well, this is sort of a similar way Google's trying to help people support their favorite restaurants by maybe they can buy a gift card or make a donation. I know my local brewery down the block that I hang out at all the time. My son works there. My friends hang out there. It's owned by the guys that own the gym that I work out with too. So I'm always over there. And when they close, they're only open for growler fills now, right? I'll go over there and I'll, even if I fill out my growler, I'll maybe also get like a $20 gift card from them, right? To kind of keep this, I want them to be open again. I want them to be alive, ready to go. So I'll do that do some donations. So now they're allowing Google My Business is allowing that to happen directly in your Google local listing, your Google My Business listing. And so these things are going to be able to, share a personal message in their post, how the funds will be put to use, and so on. The link is in there, talks a bit more about it, all right? Gift cards can also be added to the back end with the business listing. People can, like I said, buy now and use later. Another nice new thing I like is that they've now, anyone can flag a user profile related to spam or bad or fake reviews. So beforehand, right, if somebody left a bad review for your site and you thought they were just a shill for some other company, the owner could report them, but the owner's always going to report them, right? So now a user, right, just anybody can now say, this looks fishy. This does not look like a real, a real thing. Or maybe you've seen that person's name bashing other restaurants if it's a restaurant, right? And you can now report user profile related to spam or to bad or fake reviews. So again, this is Google allowing the user base to help them get a better understanding about what's good, what's bad, what's fake, and so on, okay? And this is a new one I like a lot. For restaurants or other food service kind of listings on Google My Business, owners can now opt out of the third-party delivery services showing on that GMB listing. So let's say you're a pizza place and you have home delivery. You actually, you do delivery. You got people that you pay to drive and deliver stuff. Well, if also DoorDash and these other ones are out there, the DoorDash will sometimes show up, right? And this is going to allow a business owner to kind of pick and choose who they want, or at least pick a preferred primary delivery method, right? So maybe they get more money out of, Uber Eats than they do out of Postmates, whatever it is. There's a few others, right? Maybe they get more money from Uber Eats, so they can make Uber Eats their primary delivery. They get rid of DoorDash or the other ones. They don't want them. They don't want to use them for some reason. So this is going to be really good too for a restaurant because they can now set this preferred or primary delivery method. All right, and that can help them make a bit more money as well, right? If they wanted their own drivers to be going out and not the DoorDash drivers, that kind of thing will help. You also have the ability to add more than one appointment link now. So Google My Business has a place where you can add an appointment link. So maybe somebody wants to make an appointment with you. I've got like a Calendly link where people can make a 15-minute free call with me, right? So I can do something like that. But if you have different services or different products or different locations even, you can have multiple appointment links now. So you get an appointment link for, this product or service, that product or service. And then it can be, different information may be necessary. So this allows you to, again, get more information and the proper information for users. Google's also added some new attributes for online attributes, online care, online classes, and online estimates, all right? So, I'm now doing my classes online. I'm not doing them live. I'm doing them live, but they're not in person. They're now live online. So it's the kind of thing where I can now add online classes there. If you're doing if you're a doctor or some other person in the medical field, for example, you might be doing telemedicine calls. I had one the other day. I have a bunch of friends are doing this. A lot of these telemedicine calls are happening now. And they're great for a lot of situations. They keep people out of the office that don't necessarily need to be there. More often than not, let's say maybe you're renewing prescriptions and you've got to, doctors know, I got to see you. Well, they don't have to see you physically. They can maybe take your blood pressure, temperature, of course, but if everything's the same, nothing's really changed. There's no need for you to come in. So they're showing ways in which you can do this. And you can go there by going to your Google My Business listing in the info area, and you go to add attributes and then click edit, and you'll see all the different options that are there. One of the things though is for the online estimates. If you're going to use that, the things I'm reading and hearing is that you want to make sure that the online estimates are not a wait to get a call back, right? Online estimates should be like, if you pick these certain things, hit go, it says estimates $500. Here's your estimate. It should be more of an immediate response rather than, hey, we'll get back to you for the online estimates. You can see over on the right-hand side as well, some of these other attributes that we're seeing between the classes appointments. There's online service bookings. whether they're temporarily closed or not. Google really did a lot during the initial phase of the pandemic, where everybody was closing their doors, or hours were changing, or now there was new rules. They were now being doing delivery or pickup only, or time frames were changing, or there were certain rules. Those things were now being were helpful with these temporarily closed or secondary hours. COVID-19 posts are also really important. If anything's changed for your business, anything, hours have changed, delivery methods have changed, how people need to order. If they're not allowed in the store, they've got to pull up to the curb and call a number, or honk the horn, or whatever you're doing to make it, the COVID-19 posts should be put out there to let people know what's going on with your business. They're being featured prominently now in the Google My Business areas, in local map areas as well. So things like curbside pickup, no contact delivery options, whether you're doing dine-in or not, and a bunch more things are really coming out. So Google's really trying to take the My Business side of things and, just give everything possible. They're really going to be continuing to expand this. This is their new baby right now, and this is really making a big difference in a lot of people's world. Oops, sorry about that. Let me go back here. Okay, I don't know why that's doing that. I didn't mean to do that, but that's weird. They also have this default. Hang on, sorry. What happened there? All right, here we go. There it is. All right, sorry. Let me get this back open here. All right, so that's enough with Google My Business. Now, another thing that's really happening right now, you guys should be aware of. I know, Joshua, you mentioned WordPress, I think. I know you do a lot of WordPress stuff. So WordPress 5.5 is coming out soon, right? 8/11/2020 is supposed to be the release date. Couple things. There is a beta out, and one of the things that you got to be aware of is they're going to be adding an auto update feature for themes and plugins. Now, before this, there used to be some auto update stuff from the hosting providers, right? Where the host might automatically update your WordPress installation. Now, they're going to build into the core WordPress environment auto updates for themes and plugins. But if you've done any work in WordPress for any length of time, you know that can be a recipe for disaster, especially if you have any kind of custom code, if you have any kind of custom things that you've done or changes. You really want to be careful about this automatic update, because it could conflict with a plugin that maybe didn't get updated yet, or hasn't been updated for the new information, or the theme is now doing something that the plugin doesn't like, or something like that. So be careful with this auto update feature. Be aware it's there. Okay, so it's coming down the pipe in the new updates. Also, the block editor, right? The editor that they put in a couple years ago now to replace the old school editor, which is really kind of lame. The new block editor is a lot more like these builders that were out, like a Divi builder, or WP Bakery was one. There's a bunch of these like builder tools out there, right? And the new block editor is getting more and more like that. In fact, they're now going to have a new block directory. The block directory is sort of going to be like a plugin directory, but just to add value to the block editor. So if you do have Divi, for example, you use Divi too, right? I think you do anyway. Josh, you mentioned that you use Divi, right?
Yeah, I've used it before, yeah.
Okay. So with the block editor, they're basically going to have like in Divi, they have like all different kinds of things, like accordion things, or tabs, or code, or images, or all these different sort of little modules, as they'll call them. That's kind of what this is going to be. The block editor, the block directory are going to be this sort of a way to enhance, make it easy for you to develop within the editor, the block editor, with new things. They're also going to be adding block patterns. These are sort of layouts, right? Where maybe it's going to be several rows, a column over here. There's going to be like pre-designed layouts like you have in the other builders that are out there. And they're also making the moving of the block a lot easier in the new one. So shifting a block from one place to another within the layout is going to be a bit easier. One of the other things that you're going to see now is inline image editing, right? So before, if you want to crop something or move something, you had to go back to the media area, edit it there. Now they're going to actually make the ability for you to edit the image right in line in your pages. So you'll be able to fix it, change it, crop it so that it works best on the page that you're on without having like go to the media, change it there, or make, do it in Photoshop and upload a new version of it or something like that. So they're trying to make the more of an image editor that's in line with with the actual page content as you're building it. Something else they're doing is they're putting in a built-in XML sitemap. I don't know why they waited so long. We've historically used tools like Yoast SEO, and we've been using their XML plugin, sitemap plugin for a long time. It's always been very, very good, very useful. So now it's going to get built in. So if you are going to wind up using that, be aware that it's there. I'm not sure yet if it'll recognize that, let's say Yoast is loaded and is already using a sitemap. Is it going to create a second sitemap? I'm not sure of that. But, you may need to go in and turn the Yoast one off, for example. And if you do that, make sure that you upload the new sitemap to your control panel, to your search console. So just be aware that this is happening. There may be some, XML either conflicts instead of using a plugin. They're also going to be building in lazy loading images, and this is something else that we use plugins for. I'd much rather have this stuff in the code, the core WordPress, rather than having to load more and more and more plugins. A lot of times the lazy loading type plugin could be done, with another plugin. Fewer plugins, the better. Honestly, the fewer we got, the better it's going to be in the long run. And then the other one they've got, which I like as well, is that if you've ever tried to update like a plugin from a zip file, right? Maybe you had to purchase a plugin or you just downloaded a zip file and tried to upload it. Well, whenever it went to upload it, it went to upload it into the same folder as the plugin you already had. Like it's the same plugin, but it's the updated version. Well, if you try to load it with the zip file, it would always give you like, sorry, the installation failed, the folder already exists. Right? And it just bombed. You had to go into the file manager, delete the folder, delete the plugin, and reinstall it. It was a whole nightmare. Now, when you do that, it's going to see that the folder already exists. It's going to tell you that and say, hey, do you want to replace it with this new version? And of course, more than likely, you're going to say yes, right? So again, they're making things a little bit easier. So WordPress is getting, they continue to get to like a facelift in essence, and the 5.5 is in beta. If you go look for, WordPress 5.5 coming out soon, you'll find a place where you can download the beta version, put on like, staging service somewhere else, and kind of mess around, play with it, see what it's like. Begin to at least get used to it, because, if you force an update to WordPress 5.5 on an existing site, on the client site, you may have to deal with this stuff that's going on here. So just, again, be aware. All right. Any questions about what's new with WordPress?
No.
All right. So I thought that was really important to know. A lot of us are using WordPress. And then
I have a question about Yoast plugin for SEO. Do you recommend any SEO plugins? I'm tired of Yoast, but
interesting that you should say that. So I did not put it in here, but I meant to. I believe it's called RankMath. I think it's called Rank. Yeah, it is. RankMath. If you just type RankMath, versus Yoast, you'll see in here Yoast alternative. In fact, I just heard about this myself on Tuesday, and we just installed it on a newer site, a brand new site that we loaded up that didn't have Yoast yet or any SEO plugin, just to try it out. It's gotten some good coverage. The people I heard it from are, authoritative site as well. And somebody on that site mentioned it. So I was like, oh, interesting. Let me check it out. I don't have any comment on it other than somebody else told me about it, and there is information here. So do your own due diligence, get in there, get under the hood, take a look around, see what you got. There's a bunch of this, comparison, Yoast versus RankMath videos and content. So take a look at some of that, and it's currently free. I don't know if they've got an updated version or an upgrade path. I'm sure if they don't, they will. Everybody does. But I don't know.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. We've been using it on a few different sites, and I really like it. I mean, the one thing that I like the most is that it's got a website kind of audit tool embedded within it. And currently, there's no upgrade path. I mean, currently they're offering all the premium features in the most basic plugin, or in the free plugins. So I would definitely give it a try. They also have a migration tool to where you can take all the SEO metadata and just really quickly transfer it from Yoast over to RankMath. So
Yeah, and they almost have to have that. I know like Yoast had one for all-in-one SEO, which is another plugin too that you can just perfectly good, adequate. I know some people think all-in-one may have a slightly easier interface. It's a little bit more kind of do this, where Yoast seems to have gotten a little bit more confusing with on and off buttons and all sorts of tabs. I have not even looked at RankMath yet, so I don't even know. I don't know what it looks like yet. But it's good to hear that, Robbie. You seem to be enjoying it. Seems like it's got some value. We're going to give it a shot too, for sure.
And one thing I'll add real quick, I haven't had a chance to check to see if the permalink for the XML sitemap is the same. On these sites, we just started using it initially. We didn't migrate it over from Yoast. If that is the case, you're obviously going to need to resubmit that sitemap to Google and Bing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right, so there you go, Lane. Those two. RankMath's new. Again, they're gunning for Yoast, which is that because I think with Yoast, don't get me wrong, I love Yoast. I use them all the time. But they're definitely gunning for them a little bit because of the fact that there has been some frustration. There's been some issues with Yoast. There's been some problems with structured data. There's been some other things that have been going on that bugs here and there that they do jump on and fix pretty quickly, but it can be inconvenient or problematic for a short term, and of course clients don't care, right? Problems are your problems, not theirs. So just something to look at.
You have to update Yoast like every week, or even twice.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And it might be the kind of thing where this new upgrade tool that they got, like I'm pretty sure the preview that I saw, you can select which plugins you want to update. So you might. I have not played with the new beta yet. I'm just reading about it, learning about it, seeing it, and so on. Some of the screen snapshots I've seen show that you should be able to make the individual plugins auto update. So if Yoast is one of those ones that's kind of constantly updating, is driving you crazy, 90% of the time or more, a Yoast upgrade is not going to be a problem. So it's not going to blow things up. So that's something to think about. That you can maybe set that one to auto update, so you don't have to keep updating it every other day. There are something like a Kismet. I'll tend to just go ahead and update without really backing up too much. Usually it's not a big deal. If it blows up, I just blow away a Kismet and start over again. But there's other ones out there that I'm pretty okay with just updating without doing a whole lot. But you always want to be play it safe rather than sorry. Good hosting company with a great backup system is a big difference maker here. I always have SiteGround for myself. I encourage my clients to get there as well. They've got a great backup system and tool where even if you screwed up by accident, you can go right back to their backup in the sitemap. in the control panel, and back that thing back where it was in no time at all. It's such a. I don't even worry about updating. I don't worry anymore if we're on SiteGround. I don't have any worries about updating the database unless it's a site that is regularly being updated daily, right? If it's being updated daily, there's 3 or 4 posts. But if it's something where you're the only one making changes on the site, right? Then if you haven't done anything since the last time, then it's since yesterday. If you're on SiteGround, it's already backed up, it's ready to go. And if not, I don't even bother with the backup buddies much these days anymore. I just go right to the control panel in SiteGround, hit the backup wizard, hit go. It's a lot quicker than like a backup buddy is. A lot quicker. Boom, it's ready to go. And if something blows up, I have a brand spanking new backup ready to restore from super quick. And I can restore either the whole thing or the individual file. So easy peasy with SiteGround.
Okay.
So that's something else to think about. Anything else? Or?
I just read the email from WP Beginner, and they are switching everything to SiteGround, all their sites.
Really? Good. Yeah, again, I love SiteGround. You know me, I've been talking about SiteGround for a long time. I looked up for a new company for hosting. Gosh, it's got to be like 7-8 years ago, maybe something like that. I met some of the guys that stuff from SiteGround. I think they were Russian or I forget where exactly. I don't think Russian. They're Croatian or something like that. I forget exactly where. But there was a WordCamp Orlando. Gosh, it's probably 6 years ago that I went out to, and they had a couple of booths out, and I just had started, heard about them. I got a client on them, met them out there, and I saw, talked to them about, why them? Why should I go to you? I was with, at the time, I was with HostGator, and I was so over HostGator at that point in time. And don't get me wrong, 10 years before that, when I got to HostGator was the bomb. They were it. And then, everything was great about them. And then slowly the support went to hell in a handbasket. And it just was like, I can't do it anymore. I got to get someone that can, that can respond. SiteGround's been really, really good about that. So there's some links here as well that I put in. Many of these links are already embedded in the documentation beforehand. But you'll see there's things from Bing, because Bing's got a webmaster tool as well. They've got Bing webmaster guidelines here. So you can go take a look at what Bing's got for their guidelines, just like there's a Google guideline. This is the first time they've updated it in 8 years. So this is basically ranking factors for Bing, right? So they're there. You can think about that. There's the Web Dev Vitals. There's a Google blog from Webmasters Google blog about the core updates in May, a bit about that. And then you've got some outreach initiatives for supporting business profiles. And then a lot of the content I got is from searchenginenews.com, although that link is probably not going to work for you guys because Search Engine News is a subscription system. I think it's like the low end one is like $29 a month, but they can get up there. And they've got a whole bunch of like meetings and resources and so on there. I've been subscribed to Search Engine News since 1997. I'm still grandfathered, and I actually was talking to them the other day about it in a meeting. And they're like, wow, you've been around longer than we have. And they're like, they've been there since like 2002. I'm like, yeah, I've been a member since 97. I'm like, damn. I'm like, wow. Okay, so before we go, I want to just bring something up to you guys. I want you to be aware of this. Many of you know already I teach a 5-day class here in Tampa. What we're putting together because of COVID and everything else is we have put together what we're calling the Fly on the Wall SEO Masterclass. All right, and what this is going to be, the 5-day class, but broken out into 52 different videos. It's about 30 hours worth of material. It's going to be about 20% full retail price. Will be about 20% of what the actual class is, and I'm going to be giving discounts to anybody that gets in beforehand. So if you go to this new URL, which is shop.cseo.com/FOTW, Fly on the Wall, okay, you could just sign up to get notified when it's up, all right? I'm looking to launch this the first Monday in August. We're getting really close. We're just kind of finishing the finishing touches. But if you go here, sign up, and get notified, you'll let me know that you're interested in finding out more about it, and it'll also give you some early bird discount on the class as well, okay? So this is going to be something that we're really trying to push. We're going to be doing a lot more of this. We're going to be doing like a Google My Business class. We're going to have an AdWords pay-per-click type class. So a bunch of classes coming down the pipe with this, but this is our premier 5-day class in video format, super reasonable. The retail price is going to be $497, where our 5-day class is $24.97. And we'll probably be offering for you guys, like if you were to sign up there, probably about $297 for that same. And you're also going to get some access into some other information, other stuff as well. If you found the information useful today, the nicest thing that you can do to say thanks is to leave a review. I prefer if you went to this URL for the moment. This is just GPage, my Tampa SEO Training Academy review. The C-Squared SEO one we're still building up. Or Facebook, you can go there too, leave a review. That would be awesome. I'd appreciate that. And if you want to reach me directly, of course, my numbers are here. My cell phone's up at the top. You can call me directly or just leave a message on my 800 number. And of course, I am available for lots of different things. People, reach out to me for audits or assessments of what's going on with their website, consulting, monthly SEO services too. We are an agency. So if you're looking for help or whitelisting, having a whitelisting, not whitelisting, just farming it out to us, basically. We can do that. The public classes, we're still going to be doing them live, but they're going to be live on the web, right? So the Fly on the Wall series is live, but I'm not there at the moment. You're basically a fly on the wall in my last class. And as things change and update, we'll be updating the material there as well. And if you need private SEO training, we can customize that as well. So just be aware it's there. I appreciate you guys coming out. The floor is open. Any questions, anything else you want to take a look at, or anything at all, really?
I don't have any questions regarding the specific SEO content. It would just be more generalized questions about maybe some of the clients that you work with, or any other sort of digital marketing meetups in the area that you find value in. I don't know. I know that you're obviously dedicated to both the New York SEO and the Tampa SEO and stuff, but I didn't know if you network with any other digital marketing professionals in the area or anything.
For a long while, we actually did have a mastermind group with a bunch of digital marketing folks that were coming into meetings like this and just exchanging ideas, things like RankMath would be a good example of that. We come together, hey, great new plugin, hey, great new tool, hey, great hosting company, those kind of things. I think it got to the point where we all just sort of said, just how things go after a time. If you do it too often, it becomes like nobody starts showing up anymore. It's the same old, same old. It becomes more of a social club than it does anything else. So I don't really get out much in regards to other meetups, honestly, when it comes to this. I tend to just focus in on the big guns, subscription to Search Engine News, Moz, Search Engine Land, Search Engine Watch, Search Engine Journal. I tend to just focus there and talk to those people that are, that I've kind of been following for 15, 20 years now, reach out to them. Any of those major players, those groups are going to have really great information, really great content. Access levels are going to be different, of course, to those people. But no one really big locally any longer.
Does anybody else have any questions? I can keep going if anybody, but I want to make sure that anyone else.
Oh, Joshua.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. As far as because I have a relatively young agency that we have around 5 clients right now, but I want to do a lot of B2B networking in the area if possible. So I didn't know if you had personally, but any advice as far as how to accomplish B2B marketing, how to get a hold of people, VPs, CEOs, how to connect with these people better, how to address their concerns, any of that kind of stuff. You've been in the industry longer than I have. You're in the area. Those are the kinds of maybe groups or things I'm looking to accomplish right now.
Yeah, definitely the big thing would be LinkedIn. Get on LinkedIn, follow some of the LinkedIn marketing groups. There's local LinkedIn groups. There's a couple of big ones. Brian French used to have a couple of really, really big LinkedIn groups, Tampa LinkedIn groups for business and so on. There's several other groups that are out there as well that are, kind of focused on the digital marketing side of things. Get involved in the groups, get involved in comment, just like you do on Facebook, how, you comment on other people's stuff or share their stuff or whatever. You want to do the same thing. So join, connect with other people who are in the industry, in the area. You might want to even think about for LinkedIn, you can get the upgrade for a little bit. I think it's like $90 a month or something like that. Maybe grab it for a couple months. Find all the CEOs, find all the the C-level execs in Tampa that have the director of marketing, CEO marketing, COO, whatever it is, chief information, chief technology officer, all that stuff. And just start talking to people. Putting out great content, sharing other people's content. A lot of times we'll share stuff from Moz or Search Engine Land or whatever, because it's great content, and then by putting out good content, commenting on the content, others will know that, you're the provider of the content. So even though you didn't write it, you provided it to them. So if they become followers, they begin to watch you and what you're doing, they will tend to be more likely to reach out to you when the time comes. That kind of thing. Other than that, they're obviously with COVID, there's not a whole lot of face-to-face networking going on these days. Who the hell knows when that's going to get any better? So again, the online stuff is going to be the way to go. Maybe even start to think about doing your own kind of a Zoom conference thing or something like that. Try to get something started. Maybe try to kickstart something. My meetup group started. I think I took over the meetup group from what's his name? Lauren Baker. I think Lauren Baker, a search engine journal. He lived in the area for a little while. And he started the group. It was so funny. I remember I went to Meetup. This is going back like 14 years or so. I went to Meetup to start an internet marketing meetup group, an SEO group. And he had just started like a month before. I was like, oh, damn. So I joined it, right? And about 4 months, they were bouncing all over the place, nothing standard, nothing going on, no set day, no set location, no nothing. And then he gave it up, and I took it over. I think we had like 75 people in the group when I took it over. And today we're at like, I don't know, 12, 13. I'm trying to pull up the numbers here. It's like 12 or 1,300 people. We've got 1,751 members now in the group. And it's just, slow and steady, right? But now there's basically 1,700 pretty much local people that I can reach out to through Meetup, right? Reach out there. My social girl is not doing enough on that. It's something I've actually talked to her about. But Meetup, the nice thing about Meetup is that it literally is you can meet people, right? When things open up again, you can actually meet people more directly. So that's something else to do. Build your own group stuff. Build your own list out. Offer free content out there. Put good stuff out there. People begin to follow you, like you. But the mastermind stuff, there are good people out there already that are doing stuff in the area. Stick around. LinkedIn's probably the place to look, though. That's where I'd go first, for sure.
Cool. Yeah. No, thank you.
Anybody else got any ideas? You've been around a little while too. Have you found anything that you really like?
Who are you talking to? Wait.
To you.
Oh, well, I like our WordPress St. Pete, because through that group, we used to be WordPress Tampa, as you know, Steve. I think you were part of that, or we tried to rope you into WordPress Tampa, but that all kind of fell apart. But it's the most active group is WordPress St. Pete, and we with Jim True, we're having dynamic meetings online, and we have satellite meetings that we're trying to keep them going. One in Tampa, one in Wesley Chapel, one in Brandon. But because of COVID, everything's just kind of falling apart.
Yeah.
So you're doing Elaine, you're doing WordPress St. Petersburg online as well?
Yes, with Jim.
All right. Yeah, I'll definitely attend the next one.
We canceled we're doing Ask Anythings for the next month, but I think we're canceling we usually have a scheduled talk we meet twice a month, one with a scheduled talk, one with an Ask Anything. And we're just like a little tired, so we're just going to take a little break on the talks, but we'll do an Ask Anything.
Right. Yeah, that's good. I mean, those are good too. I do that as well. I've got to Ask Anything once a month that people can just book a call and talk to me for 15 minutes and get some questions answered free of charge. They're nice. They're good to have. It's a good resource out there to give people a chance to communicate with you and maybe turn into something else down the line. So that's something else, Josh. If you think about it, doing things like that, we're offering free advice or free information for people. People love free, but if you want to, giving away free information is great, but the goal is to really build your expertise, right? Build your name and your brand through that. So that's basically what I would recommend. Rob, did you have any things that you go to? Any local networking or local SEO kind of web development type places that you frequent?
Well, no, not since COVID. I've been attending a lot of the online meetups, and I mean, I don't want to call it a benefit. I mean, I wish this wasn't the world that we live in right now, but there's so many online events now that you can attend, the ones that are, the groups in Chicago, Wisconsin, everywhere. So
Right.
there's definitely a lot of opportunity there. But yeah, no, my biggest interest right now and focus is e-commerce, and that it's been easier to find more events and meetups that focus on e-commerce. But
Wow.
yeah, I really enjoyed your talk. It was really well done. Appreciate it.
No problem. No problem. Any other questions, anybody?
Well, Rob, would you leave me your contact information in the chat, because somebody from WordPress St. Pete was asking me about e-commerce. Did I know somebody who could help him with e-commerce? I don't know anything really about him, but give me your information.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm going to put my contact information in there as well. Yeah, that's my whole, as an agency, e-commerce is my whole game. So.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't. Okay.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, very cool.
I will pass along both your names then.
Cool. And again, guys, if you have any interest in this, or even if you would just be willing to share this out, this URL here, that'd be great. Again, we're trying to get a product launch going here shortly, because obviously, hands-on in-person classes in a classroom is just not going to happen for some time now. So the idea would be to, hey, give you access to the same great material at a super reasonable price, and you get the same great information. I'm the one teaching all the classes too. It's not like we've got any of the other members at the moment. So hopefully that will work. It's FOTW for Fly on the Wall, shop.fuseguideseo.com/fly on the wall.
I'm putting my contact information in the general chat, so feel free to get a hold of me.
Okay.
Great. And if you guys do want a copy of the slides, just shoot me a message at steve@fuseguideseo.com. And I know, Lane, you always do that. Just shoot me a message, and I'll get you a link to the material, and I'll send you the slides as well.
Okay. Steve, are you giving another one of your online